All right, confession time. Not really confession time, but I'm back working on the C4 Corvette here. I had a real rough weekend once. Let me tell you how it went. This was just a couple weekends ago. As you see, I got this old transmission in pieces. I'm almost positive that all the parts are there. But when I was trying to get some gears to align and readjust some things, I got a little rowdy with the case and broke the case, which sucks. But fortunately, it was just the T10 piece that broke. So I immediately went looking online, and I found a pull-out unit that needs a little work on the Doug Nash unit. But other than that, it's ready to rock and roll. So tonight, I've just planned on taking the good parts out of this one and installing it onto this fella right here. Let's see if I can get a better light going. There we go. So that's the unit. This looks like an earlier unit that may have been, I really don't know what the story is, but there's some obvious things that are wrong with it. Like the pickup is all jacked up, so I'm going to have to pull the valve body off and just make sure everything is good to go. The way you get these old cars running is not by doing it all at once. The way you get it running is by simply death by 1,000 cuts. Just get after it a little bit at a time, and before you know it, the project's over. So anywho, I'm going to probably throw a time lapse on and we'll see how this goes. And yeah, I'll let you know if anything interesting happens. Thanks for coming to Paul Doing Paul Things. All right, I suck at time lapse, but I can explain what happened. So essentially, this unit is supposed to be out of an 84 through 87, I think maybe even 89 Corvette C4. This one, I'm assuming, was the same way. I swapped valve bodies because this one over here had the kickdown thing for an automatic, which is interesting. So it looks like this Doug Nash unit came out of an 85 automatic, or some early automatic, because this was only on the early ones. The gearbox, no idea what that was from. But this Doug Nash unit was clearly replaced and bolted to this Super T10. This one does shift and all that stuff just fine. This was the original gasket, and it is pretty well roached. So I'm kind of glad I did that. So I swapped valve bodies. Here's the old one. I'm just going to keep it for parts. It could be useful. I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. There's a socket head cap in there. That was what I was missing and I couldn't get out. That's what I get for being stupid. So that one goes right there. Yeah, it just chills right there. Oh well, we're down one. A couple of these bolt holes are stripped. My experience is that there were a couple that were stripped on this one as well. So I'm assuming that's just a Doug Nash thing and techs not being great at what they do. But now I'm going to work on the side cover, which is that guy right there. And I'll try to do another time lapse on that one too. But maybe I can make it slower, if that makes sense. Anyway. that, this unit is pretty well ready to go. It was a little tricky getting this on. These had to be in the correct order. I had to slide one of the synchro shift thingy bobs over. I also had to put a plug in here, and so I stole it off of this one. Hope it doesn't leak. If it does leak, it's not the end of the world. But I can fix it. But this sucker, this bad boy is ready to go. And on that side cover, you can see the year. It's upside down. Let me flip it over. There, you can see it says 1984. So this must be an original one of those units. I don't know why that's not working, but I'm just going to presume that that's on purpose. So the drama continues. Oh, another evidence the Doug Nash unit was an automatic, which doesn't make sense. Unless they had a 3-speed automatic and then added the Doug Nash to it. I just remember there was something about the 700R4 that made it unique, and that it kind of had a weird kickdown thing going on. But at any rate, that's all out of there. Now I got to clean up that mess and figure out a place to put all that stuff. And I think that's what I'm going to do for the evening. I may take another stab at seeing what it takes to get the driver's seat out of this thing. I'll probably just do it and let you guys know what the story is. We'll see. Then again, I may not. I may just go in and do not much tonight. But as far as I'm concerned, this thing's set to go. I think that this is in 4th or 3rd now or something like that. So I can probably get it to switch back into neutral. But I don't think it'll really matter. Honestly, the clutch and pressure plate are already installed on there. I have the bell housing, and I need to get the bolts for the bell housing, and then I need to see how they bolt into here. So I may just do a little bit of recon, but as far as I'm concerned, this transmission is ready to slam into this thing. One thing I want to do is on the back, you've got these 2 bolts, and you can see this one's wallered out quite a bit. This one is in better shape. But for $200, you can buy a welded plate that has nuts on the top here, so that when you install this thing from the bottom, there's 2 bolts that run through here. This will just hold in place and be rock solid, and you don't have to worry about getting a nut up here. You basically make a plate that has nuts welded to it that the bolts can thread into. Otherwise, I think it's a bolt and threaded nut up here, and I guess that somehow makes things easier. I'm not entirely sure, but anywho, that's probably going to do it for tonight.